In this podcast episode, Joe Rogan welcomes Fedor Gorst, a current world-class pool player originally from Russia who now lives in the United States. Fedor opens up about his journey into the professional pool world, sharing stories from his youth when he first began playing Russian Pyramid before switching to pool. He highlights how necessity and circumstance, including not being tall enough to properly reach the table, shaped his unique sidearm stroke early on. This unconventional technique became part of his identity as a player, much like other renowned, unusual styles seen in pool history. Fedor also discusses his transition to living in the US and how it impacted both his personal life and professional career. Navigating the complexities of immigration, he explains the nuances of obtaining a green card and eventually moving toward US citizenship. Although he faced administrative and political challenges as a Russian athlete during conflict-related bans, private organizations like Matchroom allowed him to continue competing and representing the U.S., embodying the immigrant athlete's story of overcoming obstacles to establish his place in the sport. A central theme throughout the conversation is the evolution of pool as a professional sport, particularly over the last few years. Fedor and Joe delve into significant rule changes, such as the implementation of the one ball on the spot breaking rule, the introduction of a shot clock, and modifications to how breaks are judged for forcefulness. Fedor explains that these innovations have ramped up the game's competitiveness and technical demands. They also discuss how the playing conditions have drastically changed compared to the past, with tighter pockets and larger 9-foot tables being standard at top-tier tournaments. These tougher conditions have created a different level of challenge that highlights modern players' skill levels, making the current era arguably the most competitive in pool's history. The shift towards faster-paced, high-pressure play due to the shot clock and increased media exposure has made professional pool more engaging both for players and audiences. The interview touches on how extensive media coverage and promotional efforts, especially by companies like Matchroom, have propelled pool into greater popularity globally. Fedor praises these organizations for raising the sport's profile by producing high-quality televised events and streaming content, which has dramatically increased viewership. The rise of social media platforms and short video apps like TikTok has contributed to the spread of pool's popularity among younger generations, with viral moments showcasing the sport's creativity and excitement. Fedor also reflects on how the hustler and color of money eras boosted the game's cultural status decades ago, and now similar surges are coming through access to online content and innovative event presentation. He compares pool's current renaissance to breakthroughs in other sports by underscoring the importance of storytelling, marketing, and making matches accessible to both enthusiasts and casual viewers. Crime and camaraderie across the international pool landscape come up as engaging topics. Fedor highlights the globalization of talent and tournaments with players from Asia, Europe, and the Americas competing at the highest level. He points out standout figures like Shane Van Boening, widely considered one of the greatest talent-wise, and the Filipino players who revolutionized kicking shots and tactical play. The emergence of young phenoms like Joshua Filler and Aloysius Yap also reflects shifting power dynamics with fierce rivalries and consistent shifts in tournament champions. The episode illustrates how rivalries have driven the sport's narrative with long matches, such as marathon races to 120 games, defining true skill. Fedor and Joe mention how these rivalries add drama and showcase the mental and technical endurance needed to stay on top in pool, emphasizing that consistent dominance is rare and hard-fought. One of the most detailed sections centers on the technical aspects of pool, particularly the break shot. Fedor explains the science and art behind breaking tough racks, describing specialized techniques involving draw shots aimed precisely to cause maximum ball spread while maintaining control. He contrasts his measured break with the brute force approach of some top players, emphasizing precision over power. The discussion expands to shots like three-rail kicks and jump shots, both requiring immense skill and practice. They affirm that mastering such shots under pressure distinguishes elite players. The challenge of adapting to various equipment conditions worldwide such as humid or slick tables and different cloth types, also affects how players select their gear, including breakthroughs in carbon fiber shaft technology versus traditional wood cues. Mental fortitude and psychological preparation emerge as vital pillars of Fedor's success. He details breathing exercises and meditation routines designed to calm nerves and sharpen focus during tense moments. Visualization is discussed as a powerful tool for developing confidence, enabling players to see themselves winning and executing perfect shots before even stepping to the table. Fedor candidly shares his experience confronting self-doubt and negative thoughts, elaborating on the importance of shutting these out to maintain top-level performance. He echoes insights from other elite athletes, emphasizing the mind's role in sport, highlighting how anticipation of failure paradoxically can prompt mistakes, whereas positive affirmations reprogram a player's mindset for success. Fedor elaborates on the disciplined approach required to maintain and improve as a professional pool player, emphasizing that the sport demands hours of daily practice, including position play drills and muscle memory development. He stresses how constant refinement differentiates good players from great ones. The lifestyle balance necessary to keep this regimen up alongside personal obligations is another challenge he acknowledges. He speaks openly about chronic neck and back pain caused by years of bending over the table, discussing stretches, resistance band exercises, and decompression techniques to manage physical wear. Fedor also shares how weight training, often seen as beneficial in other sports, can be detrimental in pool due to its effect on flexibility and precision. His commitment to physical health as a support for mental sharpness illustrates the holistic nature of pro-level preparation. The romanticized, yet sometimes shadowy relationship between gambling and pool emerges as a nuanced subject. Fedor recounts high-stakes matches involving friends and managers, emphasizing trust and the controlled environment in these private games. However, he acknowledges that some gambling circles attract dubious characters, complicating the sport's reputation. While gambling historically fueled much of the pool scene's allure, Fedor points out modern tournament play has evolved beyond this, with professionalism and sponsorship creating more structured career paths. Still, gambling remains culturally significant, particularly in games like One Pocket, valued for its blend of skill and wagering tactics. Fedor admits his personal gambling days are mostly behind him, focusing more on tournament competition. A deep dive into cue technology reveals how much equipment impacts gameplay. Fedor discusses his experiments with shaft composition, from traditional wood to modern carbon fiber, detailing how each offers different tactile feedback and performance traits. He explains that while carbon fiber reduces deflection and enhances predictability, many players prefer the feel and feedback of wood under certain conditions. The conversation also covers cue weight, balance, and the subtle variances in taper affecting shot control. Players often carry multiple cues tailored for specific shots, such as jump shots or breaks, much like golfers switching clubs. Fedor hints at launching his own cue brand, underscoring how player-driven innovation continues to shape the sport's equipment landscape. Fedor paints a vivid picture of pool's explosive growth in countries like Vietnam and China, where thousands of pool halls cater to enthusiastic players of all ages. He credits large prize pools, government backing, and the merging of pool with tech and entertainment venues for this surge. Vietnamese players, for instance, have become passionate followers of professional pools, with leagues and social media creating tight-knit yet expansive communities. The growth in Asia and other regions illustrates the sport's transformation from a bar game to a highly competitive professional discipline. Fedor expresses optimism about similar expansion in the U.S., citing ventures like Topgolf's interest in creating analogous pool entertainment experiences to attract younger audiences and casual players alike. The podcast delves into the complex relationship between public recognition and personal life in professional sports. Fedor discusses the downsides of fame, including frequent trolling, criticism, and misunderstandings, relating it to the struggles faced by celebrity athletes and entertainers. Joe and Fedor reflect on the importance of emotional resilience to ignore negative commentary and stay focused. They draw parallels between fame's challenges and the mental game of pool itself, emphasizing discipline both on and off the table. Fedor also shares experiences of cultural adjustment and the occasional resentment from fans based on nationality, illustrating broader themes about identity, acceptance, and the immigrant experience in sports. Towards the episode's close, the discussion shifts to Fedor's ambitions and vision for the sport. He dreams about setting up high-stakes matches, such as a highly anticipated challenge with Joshua Filler, incorporating multiple disciplines like 8-ball, 9-ball, and 1-pocket. Fedor envisions events that blend marathon race formats, broad appeal, and spectator engagement both online and in person to further elevate pool's status. Reflective and optimistic, Fedor acknowledges his fortunate timing in the sport's renaissance and the enhanced support systems now available to players. He emphasizes continuous improvement, motivation by both financial rewards and passion, and the hope that pool will continue to grow worldwide, attracting new generations of players and fans.